Alright, hello everyone. I'm trying to do commentary through the phone's microphone for this video. So I'm back in Bryant Park. It's September 1st today, so we have the next wave of legendaries. It's not Mewtwo as we thought it would be. They actually gave us 3 more different ones. One representing each of the factions. So the way it's going to work is each region gets one for the month, and then they're kind of going to play musical chairs in October as they switch over. So in the Americas and the US, we're getting one called Raikou, and that's the one that represents instinct. So it's like Zapdos, it's going to be a lightning-based, electric-based one. Okay, so I'm going to try to get into the middle of the park so that try to get the map to fit in, because that's actually not where I'm standing. There's just a lot of cellular activity here, so it's throwing off my location. Yeah, it's actually putting me 1 block over from where I actually am, which is good from an audio perspective, but not what I'm trying to point out. So while this is a good starting point, it's actually pretty bad because of the interference. Like there's a Wi-Fi in the park, which I actually had to turn off, because if you have that on, it's going to keep jumping from cellular to Wi-Fi. Like I've actually crashed the game more times here than like anywhere else total. And I might cut this out because it's kind of wasting time. But I actually need this guy. Oh well. Okay, now where's it putting me? Right, I'll just pivot the map this way. So basically to the left of the screen, that is north. So this is a good location, because if you go north, you've got along 5th Avenue, you've got St. Patrick's and Rockerfeller Center, which are often raid locations. If you go to the right, south, that would be Herald Square and Penn Station, which is more raid locations. And then if you go down on the map, that would be towards Times Square. So that's why this is sort of a central area. And up on the map would be Grand Central. So I'm just going to pick up a bunch of supplies here. I'm actually taking advantage of the cellular data putting me in the wrong place. Okay. So 4 raids, no legendary. So this might just be like when they did the last changeover, where there was kind of a raid drought. But I'm going gonna hang out here for a couple of hours and see if anything pops up. Yeah, usually if you enter here, it will tell you that there's like 8 to 12 raids. And of course it's only going to display 6, but what you could do is zoom in on the map and then just have a look around, get an idea of where to go. Let me cut this off here for now until legendary spawns. Alright, so this has been the norm, but anytime there was some kind of changeover with releasing a new feature or a new raid boss, the Times Square area has gotten like a drought, because this whole day, or at least in the heart of the afternoon, nothing spawned here. Like there was no Raikou at all. I was able to find this Lugia, and I tried to jump on to a raid there, but there were a lot of connectivity issues, and it never really went through. Like I must have attempted to shoot this video like 4 to 5 times, and people just kept disconnecting. It wasn't me. It wasn't just me. Like you would see the number go from 18 and then it'll drop to 6, and then like I would get disconnected in the middle of the battle and not be able to rejoin. So that was a bit of a frustrating afternoon. So I pretty much got home and was done for the day, and then this Raikou spawned like near me, like in some residential area too. So it was really weird compared to like Times Square. You would expect like several to spawn over there, but it was dead for a good 2 hours, with no legendary raids other than that Lugia. So there was a lot of activity going on with my raid group, and a bunch of us went over there to meet, and we definitely had enough to do it. But when we got there, like a lot of other people were also joining in, and we actually had enough for 2 groups. So we split up by faction. Valor got their own. Mystic always gets their own, and I think Instinct jumped on one of the groups. But we got it done pretty quickly, and I was even able to catch this first one. So it was actually a great end to a very frustrating day, and pretty surprising too. Like you wouldn't expect that. Like I thought I would walk out of Times Square with, you know, doing 3 to 4 raids and maybe getting 1 to 2, and then I just come home ready to turn in and find this other one in a residential area where 30 people show up and we get it done. An organized group is always much better. It's like the equivalent of a league or a guild. Whereas like if you just queue in a highly populated area, it would be the equivalent of a pickup group or pugging. So yeah, the raid group definitely is better, more skilled too. Whereas it's hit or miss if I just kind of do a pickup group. But the raid droughts, especially on day of launch, is very odd. Like for an area like Times Square, Grand Central, Penn Station, Fifth Avenue, all those iconic locations. I'm not sure what's up with that with Niantic, because they should really be prioritizing those areas that have a heavy population of players. Because people are probably going there for the launch because it's so easy to just get into a raid. Now here's the catch attempt, which is always the hard part. And breaking into groups has an obvious advantage, because then we all got the bonus pretty much. So I think that's like 11 or 12 balls. but it's still a pretty low chance to catch them. Because like if you even hit them, the base catch rate, I think I mentioned it was 3% before, but it's actually 2. And then if you do everything perfectly, like golden raspberry, curveball, excellent throw, that that brings you just up to 25%. So if you did that every time, you pretty much have a 25% chance to catch these guys. So that's like lower than a good batting average in baseball. And I'm not always getting the excellent throw. At least with these ground ones, they're not flying up. I mean, he's a little bit more erratic than the birds, but if you wait after the attack, you should almost always hit him. But I'm certainly not getting the 25% chance with each throw. Not used to his attack animation quite yet in this video. But at the point of recording this voiceover, I've already practiced on 2 of them, so I pretty much have an idea. It's like after he pounces, then that's the best time to throw. The great thing about Raikou compared to the birds is he's always like the same distance. Whereas like when the birds fly up, they're further away, and then, or at least with Articuno. But I was happy to get the first one. The stats aren't that high, but I'll definitely take it. Great to catch this on day 1. Pressure's off, but he's here for a month, so there's plenty more to raid and catch. So let me know if you guys had any luck with yours, if you've got a local raid group, and whether or not you're in like an area that has a dense population of players. But hope you guys caught yours, and until the next video, thanks for watching.